Sport is superstition, science, family, drama, love, theatre. It's everything. That's why we've made a betting brand for sports fans that's better. Gamble responsibly.
It's buzzer beaters time as we welcome back the superstar Carlos Boozer after a sensational debut last week. Welcome, Carlos.
Guys, thanks for having me. How you doing?
Oh, we're even better now that you're on the show because you're outstanding last week. We expect nothing less this week. All right, let's talk games. So the Cavs versus the Warriors. Mitchell and Garland versus Curry and Thompson. Are the Cavs running the best new backcourt?
Yeah, they look great, man. I'll be honest. That trade that Utah did with Cleveland, getting Donovan Mitchell over there to the Cavaliers has really paid dividends. They're one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. And obviously the Milwaukee Bucks are still at the top of the list. But that backcourt between Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell is so dynamic. They can both score, shoot the three, drive, penetrate to the basket, and also make plays for their teammates. And then obviously we got the Splash Brothers, right? We got Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, two of the best guards that have ever played in the NBA. They got 4 championships together. They got that championship experience. So this one should be one of the ones for the ages. Instant classic.
I love that. I don't know. I want to see the Warriors run rings around them, Carlos. What do you think? But we've also got a 2002 Western Conference Finals rematch this weekend. We've got Sacramento, who I love at the moment, versus LA, the Lakers, who are in absolute ST Ruggle Town. Are you surprised by the Kings looking this good so far this season? And what do you reckon? Can the Lakers also sort of try to turn this very slow-moving LeBron James helmed ship around? What do you reckon?
Yeah, the Kings are very, very good. They got a lot of young talent. They got a star in De'Aaron Fox, who I think is a stud, primed to be an all-star as soon as they can get his team into playoff contention. But they did a good job through the draft. I think Keegan Murray is a terrific young player, going to be a great pro for a long time. And the coach is doing a great job, obviously, over there. Now, you flip the script to the Lakers, every team that LeBron is going to be on, a lot of expectations. It's like championship or bust situation when you got one of the best players that ever played a game. So, you know, that team is, I feel like they're trying to figure out their chemistry. They're starting to bring Russell Westbrook off the bench, and he's been playing terrific. And you look at his stats in the last 4 or 5 games, he's averaging almost 20 points a game. 6, 7, 8 rebounds, 6, 7, 8 assists, looking like the Russ of old, having fun in a shorter period of time. So I really do think the Lakers can turn it around. The big key for me isn't LeBron, isn't Russell Westbrook. It's Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is in his prime of his career. He's one of those guys that has the capability of being an MVP kind of guy. He just hasn't played to that level yet. I know he gets hurt a lot, but if he can up his play and be the go-to guy, the Lakers need him to be on that team, they can turn it around quickly.
All right, Carlos, what about your old team, the Jazz? They've been flying. Washington this Sunday. Do they keep it rolling?
I think so. I mean, you know what? They made all those trades. They got a ton of draft picks moving forward. Danny Ainge got rid of Donovan Mitchell, got rid of Rudy Gobert. They're 2 studs inside, and they got back a bunch of hungry guys from different teams. You think about Lauren Markkinen, who's playing at an all-star level in the Western Conference, doing a great job. Michael Conley, who's like the lone veteran there, keeping everything calm in the locker room. You got a stud coming off the bench in Jordan Clarkson, who got 6th Man of the Year not too long ago. And then you got Sexton. He's a tough point guard that's kind of like Patrick Beverley with better offense. And you basically have a team full of hungry guys. And the new head coach, Will Hardy's doing a terrific job of making those guys compete every single night. And they've probably been the surprises of the NBA season so far.
Love it. I'm absolutely loving that Dicko's here throwing lobs to you like he's Darren Williams as well, back in those Jazz days. Talking about Australians, though, so Josh Giddey's just come back for the Thunder. He's looking pretty good. We've got Patty Mills, obviously, in Brooklyn. We've got Daly just hanging out there on the bench in the aforementioned Sacramento. I've got a question for you. Like, in terms of the countries providing players for the NBA outside of the US, are the Aussies probably one of those more reliable sort of, imports, like in regards to work rate and team culture sort of building, like between Giddey, Jock Landale in Phoenix? They sort of bring a bit of a, chemistry vibe to a lot of these teams, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think you guys do a great job of harnessing talent over there. There's been some great Australian players in the NBA. And they're obviously very talented enough to get to the NBA in the first place, but they're good teammates. I've heard so many great things from all the all the teams that Patty Mills has played for, especially the San Antonio Spurs. I'm really close with Tim Duncan, and he spoke tons about how Patty, obviously the skill set is incredible, but he's a good teammate. And that's the kind of guy, you know, when you're building a team, if I'm a general manager, I put my general manager hat on. I want to put teams together that are obviously talented players mixed with talented players, but also good guys. And from everything I've heard, you know, all the way from Luke Longley back playing with Chicago Bulls, everybody that's been in the NBA since, they're all really good guys from Australia. And by the way, you guys are talented as heck. So you guys definitely make every roster better.
Carlos, with a hat like that, you'd be the coolest general manager in the competition, no doubt about it. All right, time to go head-to-head with our man, Jaymz. We're going to start with you, Jaymz. Now, your 4 locks for this weekend. We're going to start with Philly versus Atlanta.
Atlanta, I think just without Harden, Atlanta will just have a little bit too much sort of talent in that backcourt. I think Atlanta can smash Philly.
All right, now, Carlos, Philly or Atlanta?
I'm with you. I got Atlanta as well. I think that backcourt is one of the ones we haven't talked that much about, but DeJounte Murray and Trae Young have done a great job with the Hawks so far.
Jaymz, Denver versus Boston?
Absolutely love the Nuggets in this spot, Dicko. Just the sheer size of Jokic against that sort of, I don't know, smaller front line of Boston, shall we say. Even though the wing battle will be really good, I think Denver can cover. Boston might win it, but I think Denver cover.
Are you Boston or Denver, Carlos?
That's a great pick, and I want to lean towards Jokic because I'm such a big Joker fan. But in this one, I got to go with Boston. I think the wings are going to outplay the Tatum and Brown. That tandem is going to outplay the wings from Denver Nuggets. I just think their experience last year, they got a lot to prove, losing in the finals to the Warriors. So I got Brown and Tatum coming on top this one.
All right, Toronto take on Oklahoma. Jaymz.
I got to go with my man, the mop-top Mamba, Josh Giddey, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as well. I really like OKC in this spot because, I mean, we've talked about Toronto not having Pascal Siakam out for a couple of weeks. OKC, they're hungry. Defensively, they're better than you think. I think OKC can actually pull off a bit of a surprise here and beat Toronto. All
right, you're sticking with James's tip, or are you going the other way? Carlos?
I agree with Jaymz. I think OKC wins it just because Pascal Siakam, not having a guy like that, he's a perennial all-star. He's actually having a terrific season again this year. And them not being there, I do like Scotty Barnes a lot, but he's just not quite the superstar that he's going to be in a couple of weeks. So I'm going with OKC. I think Shai can do a great job, and they're tough. They're playing tough defense this year.
All right, the last one to round us out, Minnesota versus Memphis.
I'm going to have to go with Ja Morant. I think they absolutely smashed Minnesota. Like, Minnesota defensively have been an absolute mess, even with Rudy Gobert. Like, when he's on the court, they're good. They just can't score. Like, it's just a bit of a mess there in Minnesota completely. So I think Memphis run right over the top of them.
You've been big on your Ja Morant for MVP, so he just keeps rolling with him here. Carlos, Minnesota or Memphis for you?
Yeah, I'm a big Ja Morant fan. I think he's taking the NBA by storm. He's so fun to watch. I would pay money to go watch Ja Morant play, even though I do like the young makeup. They got the Twin Towers with Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. I haven't seen a guy like Ja Morant since I saw Derrick Rose. So I'm going with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies.
It's been great to have you back, Carlos. We seriously love it. 2 weeks in a row, you've upstaged our man Jaymz here. I'll just throw the one out there. We look forward to having you back soon.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
There you have it. This is Buzzer Beaters. Jaymz, you were terrific. I actually downplayed that. Carlos is gone now, so I can pump you up. But he just knows where to nail it, doesn't he?
Yeah, Carlos is, he's a 2-time All-Star for a reason. I mean, as a former 2-time All-Star myself, I mean, I'm trying to basically, catch his shadow at this point. But here we are.
Well, you have been outstanding. Well done.
The betting brand for sports fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.